Hey curl friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. It's so good to have you join me again this week. This week I am actually really excited because this actually marks the 1-year anniversary for me starting my channel. And it was such a big milestone for me to start this. I was very hesitant for a long time, but it was an idea that just kept building and building. And so here I am. Hopefully I'm doing better than what I was when I originally started filming videos. So this week what I really wanted to focus on is things that I've been doing differently with my curly hair over the course of this year and into this whole experimenting with my curly hair more. A lot of curlies talk about their curly girl journey, and I always had my hair curly pretty much all my life, really. Occasionally I would straighten my hair, but it was never something that I wore my hair straight every single day. For the most part, my hair was always curly, but I didn't always know how to take care of my hair. And this is something that I have learned a lot about, and I'm still learning as I go, and that's perfectly fine. I think all of us are in that position if we really want to admit it or not. So I have made a quick list about things that I have noticed I have done differently over the course of really experimenting with my curls, and things that I have done differently within this year. So let's just get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is straightening my hair. Now, I had never straightened my hair in my younger childhood and really adolescent and young adult until I was 25. I got my first straightener. A friend had given it to me, and your girl did not really know how to work it. So at least not work it to the way that my curls would actually be healthy surviving it. What I mean is, I would take my hair and just let it dry. I didn't really brush it out to straighten it more or anything, or get it as straight as possible. But yet, if I don't add product to my hair really is kind of, if I just let it go after I wash and maybe add a little conditioner, my hair doesn't really have a very good curl pattern if I would just leave it like that. But still, I would get some kinks and curls in there. But I would just take that hair straightener, turn it all the way up on the highest setting it had. I think it was like 450 degrees. And I would just keep running that through my hair. And boy, my hair, I'm sorry. I feel like I need to apologize to it. I am sorry, hair. I probably have fried my hair so bad. And I have fine textured hair anyways. And so it gets damaged more easily than a coarser texture would, especially with doing the straightening that I did. So I have not straightened my hair since probably 2 years, I want to say. Just trying to let it kind of heal. So, but I do have plans to use my new Revlon brush very soon here, a blowout brush. And so I'm excited for that. And I will eventually do my straightener again. I'm just going to let it wait a while. The next item I have is my Flairsol bottle. And I was probably introduced to this about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I really like it. It has that continuous mist, and it's just, I don't know, maybe I'll show you there. Can you see that? Okay. So I really do like this, and I find it very handy for wetting my hair when I need it. Now in the past, I've used sometimes like emptied bottles that I have just repurposed, and they just have that, you press down, it's just one mist and everything. And those worked, but it wasn't ideal. I find the Flairsol to be much more handy in the continuous misting that it provides. So I really like having this in my life now. So the next item I have here is a large t-shirt. What is this? I think this is a 3X Fruit of the Loom. And it's just a very soft cotton t-shirt. And I use this to dry my hair. I used to use those rough terry cloth towels, bath towels, and I didn't realize how much static they could give you. And someone introduced me to a smaller microfiber towel, but I just didn't really like the texture of that one either, to be truthfully honest, and it wasn't large enough to cover the amount of hair that your girl has here. So I have found what works best for me is just a large cotton t-shirt. Now I know they have larger microfiber towels. I really would prefer one that has a really like ultra fine texture, that very smooth texture. But for now, your girl's on a budget. Cotton t-shirt works great, and I find that it really has reduced the amount of friction that I have, and maybe even breakage when I would wrap my hair up in the towel to dry a little bit. So I like this. The next item I have is a sleeping bonnet and a silk scarf. Both of these are used for sleep protection. I never used to protect my curls when I was sleeping. And if you see my video on how I sleep with my curls at night, I show how I use both of these. I recommend checking that out. I started using sleep protection probably in the last 2 years, but before that, what your girl would do is I would lay my curls, I would wash my hair at night, and then with still damp to wet hair, I would lay my curls out strategically along the pillow so my neck would kind of be at the back of the pillow, and just kind of lay my hair out like that. Now, sometimes it worked good and it gave me very voluminous results because my curls would be lifted as they were drying, but sometimes your girl could toss and turn. And I did have it perfected to, I can't talk. And I did have it perfected to a pretty good science as far as my body just got used to how it would sleep, so it didn't disrupt my curls too terribly bad, but there's numerous reasons why I don't do that. But my husband is a big fan of those thicker cotton flannel, almost like bedding in the wintertime, and I could not do that to my curls. I knew that that would really just rough up the curls more and make them more frizzy, and so I have found sleep protection to be very helpful when I want to preserve a style. The next thing that I want to show you that has changed for me in the last 2 years is that I never used to use a diffuser. Now, excuse me, my cord is kind of tangled, but this is just I think my husband got this at Walmart. It's not my favorite hair dryer. Our other one recently kicked the bucket, but I really love this diffuser attachment. It's the Black Orchid diffuser attachment. I can leave that link down below if they still make them. I feel like they've been hard to get a hold of, and I don't know why. But if I can find this, I will leave this link down below. And I really like this. It helps give my hair more volume because my hair, especially with the length, has struggled with volume. And I feel like it makes my curls bounce up in many cases. So if you have never tried diffusing, I definitely recommend trying that. I do have an older video on my diffusing techniques. It's still pretty much the same. But if you want to check that out, I'll leave that linked. I'm going to have a lot of links. I'm going to leave all these products that I have here linked down below, other than the t-shirt. Like, you can just go to the store and get a large cotton t-shirt. You don't need me to link that. But anyways, so I definitely like diffusing my hair now, and I do it most of the time. I do it probably about, especially during the winter months, I do it all the time. Now, sometimes in the summer, I will let it air dry a little bit more, but your girl likes diffusing now. The last products I want to show you that I have changed in my routine, my curly journey, are brushes. I never used to brush my hair. I just used a wide tooth comb, or I used a wide tooth pick actually, and it's one I've had since, I don't know, probably junior high, and so I've had it for a long, long time. So when I started my curly hair experimenting journey, I was introduced to brushing and how it can be very helpful. It can be helpful in detangling when done properly, and it can be helpful in styling. And so I have found these brushes to be very handy. I first got the Demon brush. This is supposed to be used more for styling, and I do have a video on that, styling my hair in different ways, using different amount of rows in the Demon brush, because you can adjust this to have the number of rows you want. This is the D3 with 7 rows, but you can take them out or add them back in. And then more recently, I want to say within the last 6 months, I got this Tangle Teaser. I have found this to be very handy, and sometimes I even style with this. So I don't always brush style, but I do find it can be very handy for a desired look that I want with my curls, or just detangling in general. A couple more things I want to talk about then with my curly hair experimentation and journey. The next one is deep conditioning. And if you can believe it or not, I never used to deep condition my hair. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't know about it. And so I never did it. So around like 2 years ago or a little bit more, I started watching videos on curly hair. So I saw all these influencers recommending deep conditioning. And I'm like, what is this? So I got some sample packets from my local store, and I would try it out. And I noticed a difference. I do know that over the course of experimenting, I can't do the recommended like once a week deep conditioning that's oftentimes recommended, but I just have to go on how my curls feel. Usually it's around once every week and a half to 2 weeks, usually when I deep condition, but my hair has benefited from it immensely, especially if I focus on deep conditioners that have protein in them. My hair, I have discovered, loves protein, so it really helps make my curls pop and last longer. So deep conditioning is something that I never used to do, but have definitely started and seen the benefits and enjoyed it. The last thing I really want to talk about in my curly journey is experimenting, and that has taken on a variety of forms. I have definitely experimented with products. Your girl is a product junkie. I have a lot of products. That is my niche. That is what I love to dive into the most, seeing how different products affect my curls differently, and with the different weather environments that I have, because I live in an area that has all 4 seasons. So, what works in the wintertime may not work in the summertime, and vice versa. And then I also have been experimenting, not to the same level of my product stash, but I also have been experimenting with, different styling techniques. I have recently done a video on flip section styling. And then there's a few other styling techniques that I have practiced with, not necessarily on camera, but just behind the scenes. So your girl has been experimenting more with, like I said, styling techniques and definitely products. All right, so those are the things that I have done differently in my curly journey over the last couple years. I don't have an exact date of when I started experimenting more with my curls. I think it was kind of more of a gradual thing, but I really got into following curly influencers, I think during like the pandemic time when that started. And so it's just been something that I have found I really enjoy. And I enjoy learning more about my curls each and every day. And I hope you do too. I'm assuming that's why you're here. And thank you so much for sharing this journey with me, joining me. I hope you've hit the subscribe button, because I'd love to have you join me every week. But I appreciate each and every viewer that I get. It really means a lot. I know I don't say it nearly as much as other influencers do, but it really does mean a lot, and I appreciate it. I've been here for a whole year, and I hope to be here for another whole year and thereafter. So until I see you again next week, have a great day. Bye.